In today's take, I want to talk about the Los Angeles Clippers and why they should be worried about Kawhi Leonard's injury. Now, before we get into that, please like, subscribe, also hit the notification bell just so you can get the newest and the bonus content first. We put out content every day, so you won't miss any content here. Let's go ahead and jump right into this. Now, we all know Kawhi Leonard is my favorite player. It's been my favorite player for several years now, for a long time. And I stick by my word by saying he's the best player in the NBA. Because to me, it's only two sides of the court, defense and offense. And Kawhi Leonard dominates both. To me, best player, nothing else to be said, especially when you look at it from an all-around standpoint. But I mean, everybody has their opinion, and I respect that. But when I think about Kawhi Leonard, I think about a player who, I'm not going to say Kawhi has really been injury prone in his career, but in his career, load management has always been a part of it. So in so many instances, you can say Kawhi Leonard has been somewhat injury prone because he's taking games off during the regular season just to prepare himself for the postseason, to play at the high level that he always does and be the best playoff performer we've ever seen. So when you take that into account, you have to understand, with the team that he's on now with the Los Angeles Clippers, they're expecting the same thing from him. But of course, now he's been derailed by ACL injury. A lot of people have said it wasn't that serious, with the likes of Skip Bayless and a couple others. And there's been some saying that they're not really sure. Now, Lawrence Frank came out here recently, which is the president, I think, of the Clippers and the organization. And he was saying that he was uncertain about Kawhi Leonard's injury and nobody knows when he'll be available. And, you heard that, I think, last week or the week prior from the owner, Steve Ballmer. And now you're hearing it from other sources like Lawrence Frank and, maybe who else? Somebody else might come out here soon and say the same thing. More likely, probably Ty Lue will say it. But this is what I'm saying. When you're hearing things like that in the organization, it could be a bad thing, because now it's like with the Clippers, when you look at this team, they're really predicated on winning now. They're really not predicated on the year after this season, because to me, this is the season for them to win it, because this is their third season together. And when you look at the team, the way it's constructed, they have a win now mentality, and they have a win now type of, team, type of roster. And you can't really say who's going to be on this team from year to year to year, next year, or the year after that. It's just really hard to say, because trades happen, money, salary cap, so many things goes into an off season, just like going into a season. So many things goes into it. It's political, it's business, what I'm saying? It's winning, losing. It's a whole lot that goes into any sport, especially basketball, because basketball has so much turnover in it. By mid-season, the Clippers might make a big trade, the All-Star break, it's just the way NBA is. So my thing is, the Clippers are built for now. And if Kawhi Leonard can come back, in which I think Skip Bayless and a few other analysts said, somewhere between March, April is what they were hearing, that would be good. But it's not good when you hear from the organization that they're uncertain when he's coming back. And it could be a situation also, and that's why I said there's no need to really jump too far in the conclusion, because it could also be a situation where they're just not telling nobody, want to keep it, behind under wraps, because they're just respecting their superstar, and Kawhi Leonard. Kawhi Leonard is a very private guy, and that's just the way it is. That's what you take when you take Kawhi Leonard on your roster. When you put him on your team, you got to expect discreetness, privacy, and that's just the way it is. That's the way Kawhi Leonard is programmed. So it could be one of those situations as well. But at the same time, this was the same thing that was going on in the playoffs. They were taking it day by day, I guess, and they were telling everybody, oh, well, Kawhi Leonard's listed day by day. And it's like they knew the whole time Kawhi Leonard wasn't coming back. And, Skip Bayless, once again, on Undisputed, said Kawhi Leonard wasn't coming back after that injury he had. It was just one of those situations where it was put out there for him to be listed day to day so it could make the other team weary, to give the Clippers a psychological edge over whoever they were playing in the playoffs at the time, which was Utah and then the Phoenix Suns. But these are the type of things that goes on. These are the type of things that happen in organizations all the time. It's just with Kawhi Leonard, it's more of a mystery, because Kawhi Leonard is a different type dude. He's a different type guy. And we've seen Kawhi Leonard with the San Antonio Spurs. When Kawhi Leonard has had injuries, he's always said, I don't ever want to step on the court unless I'm 100% fully. And to me, I don't know exactly how much his ACL injury took from him, or, how severe it was. But at the same time, I know Kawhi Leonard is going to stick to his regimen. He's not going to come back unless he's 100%. And for Clippers fans, you really have to hope that he comes back this season, because like I said, there's no guarantee Nicholas Batum will be there. There's no guarantee Reggie Jackson will be there. There's no guarantee nobody will be there the season after this one, going into that following season. There's no guarantee. You know what I'm saying? Because look, they just traded away Patrick Beverley and Rajon Rondo and got back Eric Gordon. Who would have thought you would have traded those two type players for a player like Eric Gordon? I'm not saying Eric Gordon is the worst player in the world. He's nowhere near close to that. But who would have actually thought they would have traded or took those type of pieces off their roster and got back something like Eric Bledsoe, which is an unknown? Who would have thought that? If you would have told me they were going to trade Patrick Beverley and Rajon Rondo, to me, I would have told you, well, for that type of trade, they probably would have got back somebody like a Goran Dragic or a Kyle Lowry, or, maybe even a Malcolm Brogdon, somebody like that, maybe even, you can, Dylan Brooks, you can name anybody, a lot of players. That's what I'm saying. Who would have thought that, right? And this is my point. You never can tell what the offseason is going to be like for any sports team. So to me, the Clippers are more so built for now to win, and with the hopes that Kawhi Leonard comes back. Because if Kawhi Leonard doesn't come back this upcoming season, it's another bust season for the Clippers, because Paul George, he can't carry him all the way to the finals, because at some point he's going to give out of gas. And then at some point, you might have to run into the Lakers. At some point, they might have to play the Phoenix Suns again. And this is what I'm saying. If you run into teams like that, it's going to be hard to beat them. And then, like I said, you got to look at a team like Denver. Jamal Murray's coming back with Jokic. You see what I'm saying? It's so much that the Clippers are going to have to overcome. Of course, they need Kawhi Leonard to be at 100%. They can't really have him at 90, 80, because he's not going to play to the level of what Kawhi Leonard can in the playoffs. I mean, think about it. He was 100% last season, and they were down 0-2 every series, and it took every ounce and every drip out of him to put the team on his back a lot of games to propel them to victory. If it wasn't for that 45-point game in Game 6 versus Dallas, they lose that series. Luka's going on to the next round. If it wasn't for Game 7 where he almost dropped a triple-double, they lose that series. With the defense he put on Luka the last 3 games that he defended him, they would have lost that series. And this is what I'm talking about. Kawhi is going to have to use so much energy on the court to help this team win. You need him at 100%. And the fact that if he comes back in March and April, not knowing how severe his injury is, it can, hopefully it won't be a situation where he re-injures it or injures the other knee by putting too much pressure on it. You know what I'm saying? So many things that can happen. And like I said, it sounds so mystified even more with Kawhi Leonard when you say, oh, we don't know Kawhi Leonard's status. Just because of the Spurs situation several years back, it makes Kawhi Leonard's situation a little bit more mystified and a little bit more iffy. If it was another superstar we were talking about, it would be different, because other superstars don't have the load management under their belt. They don't have that under their name. You know what I'm saying? That's attached to Kawhi Leonard's name. And it's not Kawhi Leonard's fault. I never blame Kawhi Leonard for doing load management. I always praise that, because you have to save some energy for the postseason, because the postseason is where you make the most money. Postseason is where you make your name, and the postseason is where is the only place you can win championships at. So this is what I'm saying. I always appreciate the fact that Kawhi Leonard played good enough during the regular season to get through it and, stay afloat until the playoffs, till he turns it up a notch. Because I've always said he's the only player I've seen in the NBA in the last X amount of years that just turns it up in the playoffs a little bit more. The last one I seen before him, of course, was Kobe Bryant. But I mean, just go in the playoffs and just go out there and dominate the way he did. the way Kawhi Leonard does. It's Kobe, Michael Jordan-esque to me. And that's what makes Kawhi Leonard a different player. It's just that, like I said, when you hear when the organization that he's with, Clippers and people around him, when the playoffs was here and he got the knee injury when he was in Utah, it was the same type of thing. We don't know this, we don't know that, and it kind of makes a lot of fans weary. But my thing is, to me, you want Kawhi Leonard coming back 100%. You want him being the player he's always been, because I'm telling you, if he's not 100%, you're not going to get the performance like you got last year against Dallas, and the couple games he played against Utah. You're not going to get those type of performances if he's not 100%. So there's going to be fans out there who's probably going to say, "Oh, Kawhi should just come back and try to help us make this title run." And I agree with you. You know what I'm saying? I definitely want Kawhi to come back this year and make the title run, but it would not be obscene to see Kawhi Leonard not come back this season, depending on how the severity of his ACL is. And, we all know Kawhi Leonard, he's got to be 100% before he goes out there, because he's not going to go out there any otherwise. It's just that, it's a lot of pressure on the Clippers now because it's your third season, and a lot of people are expecting Kawhi to come back because it's almost like now or never. The Lakers are an older team, so you do have a psychological advantage over them because you're younger. Maybe you could run them in the ground in a 7-game series and tire them out and beat them. The Denver Nuggets, Jamal Murray's coming back, but now your team is built different. Now you're not as vulnerable as you were a couple years ago in the bubble, because now Kawhi Leonard's a better passer, and it seems like Paul George is a better passer. You know what I'm saying? They're both averaging 5-6 assists a game, and they're starting to play the game a little bit different, turn the ball over less. So that's what I'm saying. A lot has happened since then, and now they added Reggie Jackson, a third player who can go out there and kill the Nuggets, a player they didn't have a couple of seasons ago when they played the Nuggets. So, that's an advantage they have, even though it's still going to be tough to beat them. And the Phoenix Suns, well, everybody know they would have beat them anyway if they had Kawhi Leonard. No doubt there. They already beat Utah last year, so they definitely can do it again. So this is what I'm saying. You have an opportunity to go out there and win a championship this year. You have an opportunity to, at least bare minimum, you have an opportunity to make it to a finals this year if Kawhi Leonard can come back. And the uncertainty of Kawhi Leonard, of where his status is as far as his rehab and all those type things, those things could be worrisome to a lot of fans, because they're putting a lot into this season. And look at the Clippers re-signed Reggie Jackson and certain players for 1 or 2 season deals. And it's like, after this season, man, it's like, where do you go from there? Do you start cleaning house? Do you start trading players? You know what I'm saying? That's just how it goes in every sport. So this is what I'm saying. Every opportunity you have to win, you got to go out there and do it. And I'm not telling Kawhi Leonard to go out there on 70%, but Kawhi Leonard has to realize it's not going to be much more opportunities you're going to have to win. So when you get your opportunities, you got to take them as they come. You cannot, we'll win it next year, this and that. No, hey, you got to come back as soon as you can, get as healthy as you can, as soon as you can, because honestly, this team is built to win now. They're not built to win the year after, the year after, the year after, because you don't know exactly, like I said, what's going to happen. Hell, it's a possibility if they found a way to land Damian Lillard, they might trade Paul George to get Damian Lillard. You know what I'm saying? I'm not saying that that's going to happen, but what I'm saying is you cannot rely on the fact that, we'll be back next year with the same roster, the same team, no changes, we're good to go. It just doesn't work that way. So as Clippers fans, this year needs to be the year that Kawhi Leonard needs to come back. He needs to get healthy, and this needs to be the year the Clippers need to try to take it all the way, because, like I said, it's no guarantees after this. And, of course, Kawhi is going to be around another 2-3 years. But at the same time, like I said, every season other teams get better too. So with that being said, it's no guarantee that you're going to have an opportunity to make it to a finals back to back season, however many times you make it. It's no guarantee. So, the uncertainty around Kawhi Leonard is definitely worrisome, but at the same time, you just got to hope for the best. And you got to hope that he does come back around March, April, somewhere like that, so he can come back and get a rhythm and help the Clippers take it the distance, because if Kawhi Leonard comes back too late, or in the playoffs, that's good, but he won't have a rhythm. He won't be Kawhi Leonard. And then let's hypothetically say they're down 0-2 again. Now Kawhi might not be able to help you get out of a situation like that the way he did last year in Dallas. Because a lot of people picked Dallas to win that series last year. No doubt about it. Everybody's saying Luka was the better player or the best player in the series until Kawhi Leonard flipped the switch and let everybody know, no, he's not the best player in the series. He's good, but he's too young. He's still out of shape. And this is a man's game. And he's still a little boy. He ain't graduated to this level yet. And Kawhi had to remind everybody of that. But Kawhi needs a rhythm coming back from this injury so he can play to that level again. So we got to hope. Everybody has to hope as Clippers fans, as Kawhi Leonard fans, whatever you are, you got to hope he comes back 100% and makes life a whole lot easier for the Clippers so they can make this run and take it the distance the way we feel like they should and the way we feel like they can. But hey, that's my take on the situation. Let me know what you think in the comment section. We can always talk and engage about it, and we go back and forth about it as always. Cali Take community, this is what we do. And hey, Cali out.